What's up? What's up? What's up? All righty, y'all. Give me a second, man. I am all of a sudden I'm your boy is having technical difficulties. You know how that go. Whenever you think something is gonna go smooth, just watch a Cowboy game. Whenever you think something is gonna go smooth, you just all you had to do is click over and say, "Hey, man, I'm watching the Cowboys today." And it will not go smooth. I swear to God, I spent all afternoon to get everything together, and all of a sudden, I can't get shit to pop up. But we all here tonight, man. Hey, man, let's go, man. On my right, man. That's my man, from the west side of Texas, man. Y'all know the 915, man. Y'all know him. 21, Armando 21. What's happening, fam?
What's up, big fella? Hey, we here chilling. Trying to help you out on my side, but I'm with you, man. Whenever you want something to go wrong, just say it's Cowboys, baby.
It's the Cowboys, exactly. Hey, man, and below him, man. He was Texas born, but he don't live in the great state no more, man. He's somewhere in the Midwest. I think he is in Kansas. It's our man, Cowboy Corner. What's up, Cowboy Corner?
What's going on, you guys? Thanks for having me on. And yeah, man, we got a couple of people from Cowboys Corner watching here. Craig English, Daniel Sports. Shout out to you guys. Thanks for sharing love. And
Yes,
yeah,
shout out, man.
All right, and from the east side of the United States, from Philadelphia, it's our man, Will Spencer. What's up, baby? How you doing, baby?
What's good, bro? How you been?
Hey,
Thanks
hey,
for
I
letting
know.
me jump on this, John.
Hey, man, I know it's rough for you, man. You a Cowboy fan, living in Pennsylvania. Hey, bro,
Yo,
I'm sorry.
li- listen, man. They've been letting me have it since the clock hit all zeros in that game, man. Yeah, I've been catching it left and right. My friends have been destroying me. I've never felt so helpless in a season before, man. It's been a while.
I know, man. It's been rough, man. It's just rough. But look, man, we always start with just initial overall thoughts of the game, and I'll go first because mine is simple. We some shit. It's just what it is, man. It was just we'll get into it more in the show. The defense showed up in the first half. I have no complaints with them. In the first half, they were trying, and you saw the effort on the field with the defense. But the offense, man, it seems like every week it digressed even more, and it's just so frustrating. So my outlook, my overview of Sunday's game was digression. 21. What's your overview of the game?
First of all, I mean, the whole we were actually there, and so the tailgating part was, it's always good, right? Had a great ass day at tailgating and all that, but we got down to the nitty gritty and watched the game, and it's like you said, big fella, this defense showed out. I feel like the defense, um, they were what we thought as far as them missing key pieces. So we saw one of those pieces come back, and which was the big piece, which was Micah, and we saw them, do what they have to do and hold it down, right? Unfortunately, this offense, there's no. I feel like they're not clicking. Something's not right with this offense. I understand it was a backup with Cooper Rush, but I was actually confident that Cooper Rush was going to come out here and look good. He didn't look good at all. I feel like he was overthrowing. Um, it wasn't working, this offense, and this play calling. This play calling is shit right now. I'll call it what it is. Is this play calling is shit right now, and it's tough to watch.
It is. Mike, what was your overall view on that debacle Sunday?
yeah, no. Big shout out to my sister. She's in the comment section there. I would like to know y'all's thoughts about old hag Jerry Jones. Not wanting to fire dumb play calling Mike. That's my sister. Big shout out to Mandy Sanchez.
Hey,
in
man,
the
hey.
comments. No, man. Yesterday or Sunday's Sunday's deal, man. Listen, I mean, man, I know we're gonna dive into it. I wrote down some points as you guys were talking. You know, it's when your running back fumbles the football and you give up a minimum of 3 points, could be a touchdown.
Yeah.
And in the very next series of that offense, he's the first one to touch it. What example are you setting?
Exactly.
That's a spit in the face of Rico Dowdle.
It was so horrible.
That's a spit in the face of Rico Dowdle. This guy, he's the only one. Will's over there laughing. Will, he's the only one that has a decent game. It was against the Giants, 87 yards. Zeke will never touch that. And for him to get back-to-back carries after giving up that a fumble and right there, it's nothing. It's not a laughing matter. That was bull crap. And for him, it's a disaster in Dallas. Mm-hmm. It's a spit in the face. If I was Dowdle, I'd say cut me. And Dowdle didn't dub up Zeke. Dowdle walked right past him.
See that? I was about to say that. Yep.
Yeah, it was a spit in the face. Dowdle should feel that way.
Yeah. All right, Will, what was your overall view of Sunday's debacle?
It was as expected, and leading up to the game, you know, because like you said, when you open, I'm from Philadelphia, so it's mountains of trash talk leading up to the game, and everybody's asking me like, "Yo, how you feel about the game?" I'm like, Dak Prescott is gone; he's out for the season. Cooper Rush, I had no faith in Cooper Rush being able to do anything in that game, because when the 4-1 stretch is brought up, oh yeah, Cooper Rush, he got the Cowboys the 4-1. If you watch those games, you see that he was being held together by the run game and the defense. We don't even have those this season. So to expect Cooper Rush to come out there and pull a rabbit out of his hat to deliver the Cowboys against the team that he flopped against, that got that one win during his streak? No. Yeah. The only thing he didn't do that he did last time was throw interceptions. But he was fumbling the ball, so he was making up for turnovers anyway. To put that kind of onus on Cooper Rush, it wasn't fair, you know, to expect him to come out there and try and deliver some kind of performance against the Eagles when the Cowboys haven't been good or consistent all season. So it was as expected, man. I didn't think that they were going to come out and, you know, wow us or anything. The only one bright spot I did like, Demarion Overshawn, man. That kid, that speed is ridiculous. If he had sacked Jalen Hurts on that blitz, I'm like, you know what? He came to play. Thank goodness.
Right. Well, this is how I wanted to start the show. So here we go.
Disrupting this time. 2nd and 20. Here they come after him again. Overshown, got him. Oh, it's a gigantic loss. We just talked about Overshown. Push, you got to think. What's your stop? There's Hurts, and he is powering across for the touchdown. They have that. Game's only touchdown from a yard out. He ran it in. Pushed it across, I should say. Here he's looking to the end zone. And, oh, what a breakup. Did he catch it? Did he pick it? Oh, my goodness. Diggs comes away with the football. Trayvon Diggs. It looked like it had a chance to end up with Goddard and Jalen looking for options. Pinned and down. Overshown comes back and buries him at the 45-yard line. And now he's right down the barrels. The ball was not high and tight with 3 points. And Leafau comes up with the fumble recovery. Oof. Look at that ball come out, and they give it right back to the Cowboys. Gift returned. The red zone turnover as the ball is jarred loose. That was Bond. It was one of those who helped pop it out. He gets his shoulder on it. Gardner Johnson, everything else you can throw in the middle of the field or outside. Able to shake off the pressure. Fires to the end zone, and it's caught by Dallas Goedert. Touchdown, Philadelphia. Is back. Drop back. Jalen looking around, surveying 3 or 4 times. Steps up and fires. And it's caught for the touchdown. Johnny Wilson with the touchdown catch.
It's hard to win in the NFL, and they're winning. He deserves credit.
He still has it, and Hurts is going to plunge across for another Eagles touchdown. NFL Defensive Rookie of the Year. He's in the discussion for sure. 3rd and 9. Ball's back, knocked out of his hands. Cowboy lineman, football follies, and maybe Philadelphia has it. Oh my goodness, the Keystone Cops just broke out here on the field, and the Cowboys have yet another low light.
Football follies. The bad news.
So the Keystone Cops. That's what he said about the Dallas Cowboys. The Keystone Cops. Bro, I mean, it's really hard to even attempt to defend the team this season. I mean, it's just because that simple play like that, and all we had to do just fall on the ball. I know it was out of reach anyway at the time. I mean, but just dumb asinine things, man. When you go back, our highlights was sacks. Our points was Brandon Aubrey, and shout out to Cowboy Corner what he said. Sometimes it's a detriment to have a great kicker. Because our coach, man, gets so fucking conservative because we got one. Okay. And my God, man, just watching the highlights back, I get mad all over again. Because if you think about it, the way the defense played in the first half, the Cowboys should have been at halftime, should have been 14-10 at halftime. Should have been 14-10 Cowboys at halftime. It didn't happen. it didn't happen just because of buffoonery. So let's do this, man. Let's talk about Cooper Rusty. Cooper Rush, Cooper Rusty, whatever you want to call it. 21. We'll start with you, man. What did you think about Cooper's dynamic performance?
Well, like I said earlier, I was confident going into this game. I felt like he took the reps in practice, so he had the whatever the scheme was to go out there and perform. I thought we would have been okay, but we saw he wasn't. We saw overthrows, we saw underthrows. It was but again, I'm with Will. There's no run game. The defense held them down for the first half. After the first half, they can't. They had no points, and it's tough. It's tough to get out there and continue to hold it down, and you don't get points on the board. So
right.
The defense eventually gets tired. But as far as Cooper Rush, I just he did look rusty. He didn't look confident in the pocket like I guess that season where he was in there. He didn't have that confidence. I didn't see it in him. I saw a backup quarterback is what I saw.
Mm-hmm. Mike, what you think about Cooper Rush on Sunday?
Real quick question. I didn't know you were going to show highlights, so I took the stream down. And because YouTube will strike my shit down quick. So is there any more highlights that you're going to show?
No.
Okay, I'll put it back up after this. But what do you expect from Cooper Rush, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Cowboys didn't do him any favors in the preseason because they wanted to see what Trey Lance was able to do. And so he had one drive where he threw a deep ball to Jalen Brooks, and that was it. Like that sums up Cooper Rush's preseason. So game time action he hasn't seen since 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And so I said this the other day on Fifth Quarter Cowboys channel. I said what's this play right here summed up the Cowboys season. It was a couple of plays before the half ended. Cooper Rush tries to throw it out to Ferguson, and it hits 3 yards short. 3 yards short from target, and the beads on the field go. And that was it. Right? They had to go punt it. That right there sums up the excitement, the offensive play calling, the defense in the second half, those pallets, when they got up and went down, that's the excitement level in Dallas. That play right there summed up everything.
Okay, Will. Your thoughts on Cooper's performance?
Like I said in the opening, man, I wasn't expecting much from him. I didn't have much faith in him to begin with because he's a backup. His performance was actually more surprising that it was that low. I believe it was 66 yards passing between both him and Trey Lance. That's I don't even know how you explain that. How does that happen? Even as a backup quarterback. So that shows you that the offense, the play calling has not been up to par. So imagine you have Dak Prescott dealing with that, and then you downgrade at quarterback to Cooper Rush, and then you send him out there and say, "Hey, man," like Jerry Jones said in the post game presser, Cooper Rush gives us the best chance to win. That's what you have out there now. So are you really going to sit here and try and convince us that Cooper Rush is the answer when we all watch the game and we know that he's not? He's just a backup. I don't know how you try to explain that to the fan base. Cooper Rush, he's a backup. He can win you some games when the offense is actually playing, above par, but not this season.
Wow. Yeah, man, it's rough. Michael be right back, but he had to reboot and everything. So this is another thing. I know because Mike brought this up when he was talking about this, man. Zeke feeding the ball to the wrong team. All right. Remember in the off season, everybody was like, "Hey, man, we're gonna get Zeke back so he can run the ball on goal line and third and fourth and inches and stuff like that." But what we seeing with Ezekiel Elliott right now, I don't believe Ezekiel Elliott's head is in the game at all. I don't think he's prepared to play football. I just think, his actions, everything he does to me just scream washed, right? It just screams it, right? And when you got other guys on the team, where was Dalvin Cook at this week? Does anybody know? Do you know, corner? Where was Dalvin? Was he even active this week?
No, Dalvin Cook was not active. They already elevated Dalvin Cook for 2 weeks, and if they want to elevate him again after that week, when they do it, they have to sign him to the 53 or cut him. Mm-hmm. So the Cowboys have to say, okay, we're going to go with Dowdle, we're going to go with Zeke, and then Deuce Vaughn's going to be I don't know what this fascination and this marriage is with Deuce Vaughn, but you need to cut him and then put Dowdle in there, or put Dalvin Cook in there. You just have to do it. I don't understand why they're not doing that. Like, Vaughn went in there, his little legs was moving, but the yardage was really slow. It's like that duck hunt from Nintendo. You got to shoot it, and then you hear the boom, and then a delayed second, you get the duck, right? So you hear the boom, and then you see the yard marker. It's always delayed with Deuce Vaughn. He wasn't getting nowhere, is what I'm trying to say. Like a little cartoon before they take off, and then they go. Like, no offense to short people, that's just what Deuce Vaughn is. But Dalvin Cook wasn't here because if they bring him up again, they have to sign him to the 53 or cut him.
Will, what you think about Zeke, man? This game. And you know what? I ain't trying to. Let me say this before you go, Will. I'm not trying to dogpile Zeke, but Zeke's actions for his last 3 weeks, man, has just been screaming out to me. Like, bro, if you're not prepared to be a professional, go home. That's just me. What is your thoughts, Will, on Zeke?
I'm going to sound like a defender, and okay. I'm okay with that. You don't have anyone else on the roster outside of Rico Dowdle to be a running back. He has a great or a solid performance in week 1, and then you don't use him the rest of the time that he's there. You constantly shuffle him out. You don't give him the reps. You don't give him the snaps. You don't give him the carries. And then you bring up Dalvin Cook. Rico Dowdle has an up and down season, and Ezekiel Elliott is supposed to sit there and be professional. And I get it; he's a vet, he's supposed to. But after a while, that kind of wears on you. You were brought in to be a part of the team, to be used, not to be saved for later on in the season, like Jerry tried to coin. That's stupid, especially when you're not winning games or you're under 500. You need all the help you can get, but you're not using Zeke. Even if you want to say that he's washed, I want to see it. I can't determine that he's washed based on 4 carries. I'm sorry, that's just me. Give him a full workload. If he flops, by all means, get him out of here. But even in the games that he's been able to play, he's had solid production. If you give him more carries, which is what he's been known for, then you could see whether he's washed or not. But we haven't seen that.
Well, Mike has that face. Go ahead, Mike.
You
go ahead. I want a discussion on this. Go ahead, Mike.
we went there.
Goodbye. Go ahead.
Zeke's washed. Zeke's washed. 100%. Zeke's washed. You need to tell me that with and he got suspended for a game because he's immature. Right? So you mean to tell me that you want to see more out of a guy that just fumbled? You want to see more of a guy that's late to practice? You want to see more of a guy that's not committed, that's out of shape? We knew, and I said this many times, I got plenty of footage. Give Zeke 4 weeks and he's going to be running to the sidelines instead of north and south. Where does Zeke run to?
The sidelines.
The sidelines. Because that's just what Zeke is, because Zeke is washed. He's out of breath. What was that quarterback, Richardson, that tapping out? Zeke taps out mid-handoff.
Not mid.
He just, I'm going to fall right here on the line of scrimmage and go, somebody come get me in. That's, like, we're talking about a running back that has 8 games under his belt. He has 7 receptions for 10 total targets, 40 yards on those receptions. His rushing, 8 games, 54 carries, 171 yards, 3.2 yards a carry, 2 touchdowns. His longest yard is 11. So how many attempts out of those 54 should his longest yard be more than 11 if he ain't washed, Mr. Spencer? He had 54 times, and in one of those 54 times, he picked up 11 yards as the most. So how many 11-yard runs is he supposed to have in 53 attempts? Because one of them he did it.
Will?
Oh, you okay? You're not wrong in your stats. But are we going to add context to those? Because okay, let's see. Going back to Cleveland, he had a solid game. Move over. New Orleans Saints. Hold on.
Game. What's the Cleveland stats?
10 for 40 and a touchdown.
Oh, 10 for 40. So what's the average on that?
That's like what, 4 yards a carry?
Okay.
So that's not bad. New Orleans, you can't run the ball. You got blown out, 44-19.
Okay.
Baltimore, you got blown out again.
Okay.
20. Well, you tried to come back, but the game was basically over. You weren't running the ball then. New York Giants, 5-19. That's a bad game. That was, I believe, wasn't that Rico Dowdle's game? His best game, or was it Pittsburgh?
That was Dowdle's game. Yep.
Pittsburgh was Dowdle's game. So you had 2 back-to-back games with Rico Dowdle having solid production, and I believe he had one more game against San Fran where he was pretty good all the way up until the 4th quarter, where he had, I believe he had 4 carries in the 4th quarter for a yard. But up until that point, he was averaging, I think, 4.5 yards per carry. I got to go back.
After his 11 yards came in. So you take that away, that's 24 yards after that 11-yard carry.
Well, are we going to play the takeaway game? That's what he was able to do. So I'm saying if you give him more carries, we don't know what he can do if he's given that production. And then to be able to run on the San Francisco game, you had Dalvin Cook, who wasn't giving you anything in that game. So you had Dalvin Cook and Ezekiel Elliott in that San Fran game. You had Ezekiel Elliott running the ball, but then again, in that San Fran game, they don't consistently run the ball. You had Dak Prescott throwing into multiple coverages and throwing interceptions when you had the opportunity to run the ball. You didn't. So
let me ask you this question, Mr. Spencer. Whenever you're done, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Okay. So, with knowing what you know now, with Dowdle and with Zeke, who's your starter?
I mean, you got to give it to Dowdle.
Okay. Knowing what you know now, is Zeke a closer running back? So let's say we got the lead. We're up 10. 4 minutes to go. You got the ball on the 10 because they had a punt because the defense forcing the punt. And you have to milk 4 minutes of clock. And let's say Dowdle gets hurt. Can Zeke be the closer?
I would hope so. But and I know you're going to I don't know that.
I do
he's
know.
He's not given the opportunity to do that. In all of his carries, you got from the time after Cleveland, 6, 3, 5, 6, 8, 10 against San Fran, and then another 6. We haven't ran the ball consistently all season. The only time that we did was in Pittsburgh, and they gave Rico Dowdle 15 carries. You need to give your running backs rhythm. You need to give them consistency behind the offensive line that hasn't been consistent either. So you got a lot of things that are working against the running back room as it is, but you're not giving Ezekiel Elliott the opportunity. And there's other things that have been behind that too. Like there's been, I don't want to say rumors, but speculation that Mike McCarthy didn't want Ezekiel Elliott back. That's why he let him go in the first place. That's his management. So if Jerry Jones brings in a guy that the head coach doesn't want, is he going to use him? Obviously, he's not going to because we're seeing it right in front of us. So if you're not going to give the guy that you brought in work, how do we know that that's what's going to be able to work for him? I would be frustrated too.
Another question.
Ezekiel Elliott. Shoot.
Are you a Cowboys fan? I don't know. Are you a Cowboys fan?
Yeah, I am. I ain't
okay.
Be smart. Yeah.
How excited? We have Cardinal fans on here. We have Eagle fans. This is the Cowboy Up Pocket. I'm a guest just like you, so I don't know, right? Were you excited when Zeke got brought back?
I was.
Was that your question, Mike?
That was Mike's question.
I guess so. 21, jump in this, man.
I think to me the whole running back by committee just threw everybody off. I think that the mindset in that running back room is just like whatever, it's running back by committee. It is what it is. Do I believe Zeke is washed from what I've seen? Yes. Right. Was I happy when we brought him back? I'm gonna say yes because it was a nostalgic. It was Zeke, he's back. I mean, hopefully we get a little bit of whatever juice he has left. Have I seen anything? No. Would I have cut him already? Yes. I think I think for that reason is that that there's I said it before that where I feel like there's what we call novela going on in the Cowboys locker room. A soap opera. There's a soap opera going on in that locker room that obviously we don't know about because we're not there. But there's just the whole running back room thing. Rico Dowdle not dabbing up Zeke after it's just those are telltale signs of drama in that locker room and it's everywhere and and it all starts with the coaching. The coaching is shit. We saw Mike McCarthy at the press conference wearing all black. Why? Because it's a funeral. It's a wrap. We see it.
Yeah, and I like what you said. It was a funeral. That's bad. We're at the midway point of the season. we got 8 more games to go.
8 more games, man.
It's punishment.
It seems like, man, the season was over 2 weeks ago. See, because just looking at the schedule just coming up, man, Jesus, the only thing that you hopeful for is Thanksgiving against the Giants.
That's it.
That's not even a win at this point.
I know.
We could very well lose to the Giants.
Not if Bland comes back.
You can't move the ball on offense.
Yeah,
You're
but
gonna-
Trayvon Diggs, it's Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones going to give you the ball. That's what we're missing. All I need
What
is
happened?
on that fumble.
What
I
happened
needed
what happened with Deron Bland?
He got a stress fracture in his foot, and
No, I thought he was supposed
camp.
to be. He said I thought he was supposed to have been active this week. That's what we were trying to.
It's that's an 8 to 10 week injury, a stress fracture in your bone, because you got 6 weeks to get that bone to heal, and then you got to rehab that and get the motion and all the stiffness out of it. So I say this week or next week, Bland will be back.
Okay.
Also, what was the injury on Overshown? I know there was something.
Overshown, it was a little freak little thing. It's something in his knee. I'm not a doctor. I can't give you the name, but he'll be back next week.
It's like brucitis or something. It's not something that's supposed to keep him out for long. So they made it a note to make sure to watch the injury report for this week, because I got him on my IDP league. So I got him as a defensive player on my fantasy team. So they just like, it's not bad. It's not expected to keep him out, but they'll probably take it easy on him, going through the week in terms of practice.
Man, and that's a good segue about Overshown. I know when Michael Parsons went down, I brought it up on the show about trying to put Overshown in positions where he can rush the passer, so he can get after the passer, right? Dude, when they send him, he get there. He just had the one bad angle, and what they scored a touchdown on. But like Will said, if he'd have made that play, the Cowboys would have still been in the game, And but him with his athletic ability, being able to rush the passer with him and Micah, because there's nobody else unless the Cowboys is blitzing, and they still not getting there. They used to send Jordan Lewis on those little corner blitzes. They don't do that anymore. He used to get there. I was just like, it seemed like there's no creativeness on the defense of trying to get there. But like I said, in the first half, they showed their butt off. And man, Agent 13, man, it's just such a pleasant surprise. Well, it's not a surprise, a pleasant look of a guy who can actually play defense and actually play the linebacker position. So we'll start with you, Mike, man. What you think about Demarion?
I just hope, because we've seen this before from Parsons in his first couple of years as a Cowboy. The Hollywood style of the Cowboys got to Micah, and this is the Micah we have now. So I hope the Hollywood culture does not hit Overshown, and I hope he's consistent.
Mm-hmm.
We lost the dog in Micah. Overshown. Yeah,
we lost the dog in Micah.
Oh yeah. Mike is a media dude now, dude.
How do you? Because he got a podcast.
So let's talk about 2 years ago, the first year of that podcast. We got the Eagles to play, right? We have the Eagles to play. Darius Slay's jersey's behind him, and he's catering to them. Talking about they're a good team. They're going to be hard to beat. So with that mindset, and we lost that game, by the way. We lost that game because he already set the tone that they were better than us. And then there's more podcast examples I can give you. Micah's weak, dog. Micah is weak. Overshown, do not follow the footsteps of Parsons. Stay in your lane. Be the dog. Be the example. Set the example.
Will?
I don't know if I understand what you're saying, and it's not a good look sometimes. When you have opposition on your podcast and y'all a little too buddy. I know most recently Philadelphia felt some type of way about Darius Slay being on Micah Parsons' podcast, but I also think that largely we're entering into a different era of football where the rivalry is still there, but it's more legend based as opposed to it being more active. Like you don't see a lot of players quote unquote hating each other when they come into these games. Like you don't see San Fran's like, yo man, I hate the Arizona Cardinals, or I hate Seattle, or I hate Los Angeles. You don't get that from Minnesota Vikings. It's they're doing jersey swaps at the end of the game. A lot of them are friends and they train together outside of the NFL season. most times it's business as usual, but you don't get that that 90s style, yo, I'm about to smack this boy in the mouth because I don't like them. And it's kind of like commercialized because everybody hates the Cowboys. Like every time somebody comes over from a new team or they sign like with the Eagles, now all of a sudden they hate the Cowboys when you've never been in the discussion like Isaiah Rodgers. He got signed to the Eagles and now all of a sudden he hates the Cowboys. It's like he's throwing tweets up or Instagram his shoes about he hates it. Like it's like popular now. It's not the motive. It's just, hey man, I'm here. I gotta hate the Cowboys because I'm an Eagle now. Like there's no precedent before that. So I kind of feel like in terms of Micah, I understand why people would feel like that. I understand why Cowboys corner feels like that. But it's like I think we're in a different era of football where they're getting along with each other on and off the field. So it's kind of the dynamics changing.
So, do you think that that's happening to the rivalry of the Bengals and the Steelers? Do you think that's happening with the rivalry of the Patriots and the Jets? Do you think that's happening with the rivalry of the 49ers and the Cardinals? Do you think that's happening with the rivalry of the Cowboys and the Commanders? Like, I get what you're saying, but it's that's just an excuse for Micah at this point because there's a lot of players that don't do what Micah does. There's a lot of players that don't do what Micah does.
But a lot of those teams you mentioned too, they haven't been good. So where's the rivalry at?
It's
because
the mindset. It's a mindset, though.
No, I get the mindset, but if I'm the Bengals and the Steelers haven't been competitive for the last few seasons, I'm not scared of the Pittsburgh Steelers.
In the last 15 years?
Who?
The Steelers.
No, they have winning records, but I'm saying the Bengals have been.
Well, they're not competitive.
Have the Bengals been better?
Yes, they have. They just
so why am I
just a few years ago? Remember that robbery, all the dirty hitting and all the flags and all that still carries over till now. We don't have we don't have this sensitive stuff anymore. Micah is bringing the sensitive stuff to Dallas, and that's just what it is. Sometimes we just got to skip over the unicorn and rainbows and call a spade a spade. We could be all happy and go get her. I'm a Cowboys fan, but sometimes as a fanatic, you got to judge your team. You got to judge your players. And right now, Micah's softer than Sharman.
All right.
I don't know if I agree with that because his play on the field when he's healthy, man, it says different.
Right. What happens in the last 7 games of the year when he plays the whole season? Where was he in the playoffs?
That's when you need your team. And when you only have one pass rusher and the team and you pay a team that can game plan for just that specific person, like Green Bay, they knew he was coming. They was like, yo, we're gonna run right at you. Who else is gonna make a play? Because once you take Micah Parsons out of the picture, is there anybody else that's gonna go in there and get the quarterback? Nope. Because we saw what happened.
So when Micah gets his payday, whether it's with somebody else or the Cowboys, he needs to make sure that he cuts checks to the team then.
Why you say that?
Because he has to play like he's going to earn it. He has to play.
You don't think he's earned it?
He has to earn his pay. This is the National Football League.
If you don't think he's earned his pay to this point?
I don't know.
Oh, come on, man.
How many sacks does he have in the playoffs? How many sacks does he have?
That's fair, but like I said, if I know I can game plan for this one guy, he has it.
When like DeMarcus Ware, I could tell you one play where he stepped up where we needed most. 2009 against the Saints when they were undefeated. Other than that, I can't tell you a fourth quarter sack from D Ware. His sacks came in the first half.
Hey, you gotta watch.
The season.
You got to watch it, man. That's a Mondo homeboy. You know, they met in the elevator at the game. So, you know, you can't keep talking about D. You can't talk about a Mondo homeboy like that.
I'm just saying. I need he can be up there with the guy with that guy Garrett, Myles Garrett. He could be up there with TJ Watt, who has 19, almost 20 sacks, 22 sacks, the Michael Strahans. He can do that. But sometimes he loses it here. That's why he was stuck on 12.5 sacks for many years.
All right, 21. You want to jump into this? We was talking about Overshown, but
Yeah, I
we
was
got
about
on
to say
Micah.
about,
But good.
it's just we see this kid is gonna be special. I'm with Corner though. I don't want to see that fall off. I feel like Micah came into this league and the whole LT talk and then all of a sudden now where's that at, right? So I hope that doesn't happen with Overshown. I hope we keep him healthy. I hope we keep him healthy because you know I feel like we're at a point right now where it's like we want to see him out there because he's our he's that guy that's leading the four. I feel like he's leading that defense right now and he's that spark. But at the same time, you want to keep him healthy. You want this man for the long run. Right now, this season is looking like we might not even be in that final picture. So there's still a lot of season left. 8 games, that's a lot of games. But Overshown, that's the bright spot. That's the bright spot, I guess, of this season that we're seeing him come into his fruit. What we thought he was going to be, right? Unfortunately, bad season, but it is what it is.
Now, Will, this question is to you, man. I think this is the problem for most Cowboy fans. Micah's mouth, right? Micah with him, I'm not even tripping. I used to trip about him having a podcast. I'm not even tripping on that no more. I don't even care. That's your business. I don't even care. Okay, we got a podcast. I'm sure he don't give a fuck about our podcast. Whatever. I don't care either. But this is my problem, man. But when you go and you do a podcast, this shit is recorded. Anybody can go back. They can pull it. They can do whatever they want to. Is because you put it on the public forum. But Micah talks a lot of shit, bro. And he talks a lot of shit, and a lot of times he don't back it up. And I understand where Corner has that old school mentality. Everybody's the fucking enemy unless you got a star on your helmet. Okay?
True.
I understand that too. Okay? Just the problem that I see most Cowboy fans, they just can't stand him talking instead of playing. Okay? What is your opinion? Does it matter to you that he has a podcast?
I'm not really bothered by him having a podcast because he's, like I said, he's not the only player to have one. Now, to the point of him and what he talks about on his podcast, or whether or not he backs up his play, or he's, giving props to the enemy too much, or he's, being too friendly. Those are things that he could critique. But then, is it really being him? Is he being himself on the podcast? And that's what you listen for the most. You're listening to him because he's being himself. And that's just how he thinks. That's why people tune into the podcast. If you don't like it, you don't have to listen. But people tune in and they get these sound bites or they see the clips and they're drawn in whether they want to like him or not. And sometimes what he says will rub people the wrong way. And sometimes it's Cowboys fans that feel a certain type of way. Like, yo, man, you shouldn't have Eagles players on your podcast. You shouldn't be all friendly with Eagles players on your podcast because they're the rivalry. And I get that too. It's not a good look all the time. But that's just how he is. So if you don't want to listen, turn him off.
21.
Well, Whataburger is not number one. It is In and Out. I was in Dallas and I had to have it twice before I was out. When I was out there. That's right. That's right, Corner. I said it. But
he walked off.
Not to walk off.
But with me, I have that old school mentality. I'm with Corner on this, man. You're gonna talk the talk, you fucking walk the walk, man. And I'm with we can be cool, whatever. But when it's game day, you're my fucking enemy. You have especially if you're in that division. That's crazy. That's crazy that you and I got one too, right?
Because you know that it isn't that because you know that it's 100.
Right? As long as you had grilled onions and grilled jalapenos on it, I'm good with it, right? But so with Micah,
I'm sorry, that's a Texas shit down here, man. Whataburger. Go ahead,
I had it down there when I went to go visit some friends down there. I was like, we gotta go here and try this place because they keep talking about it.
Wasn't
It
it
wasn't
bland?
bad.
Wasn't it just bland?
It was all right, like a little overhyped, but it wasn't bad. It wasn't a bad spin.
Have you had In and Out?
No, I haven't had In and Out yet.
Okay,
I
just
gotta
wait
try
till you
that.
have In and Out. But
She's gonna be
anyway, so,
disappointed.
so I'm with the old school mentality. Like you're an Eagles player and I'm a Cowboy player. It's on. It's just this is we talked about it many times before the season started. I know we talked about it with the rest of the crew. This is a new era of football. This is a new era of players. This is the social media era. Everybody's on this, right? So it's a different type of football, right? That old school mentality sometimes doesn't get passed down in generations. I know I tell my son the teams that we hate, which is the Eagles and the 49ers. I fucking hate these teams, and that's me growing up, it was the Niners, right? So for you to have your rivals and be buddy buddies, it's just it sets the wrong tone for me. It sets the wrong tone. It tells your teammates like okay, you're buddy buddies over there, so I know where you kind of stand. So, as far as but it is what it is. All these players have podcasts now. It's the new media, as the WWE guy Ivan Sosa says. It's the new media. It's gonna be everywhere now, man.
I know that's right. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to start a burger war in the comments. I'm sorry. I did start a burger war. But it's always Boots always started. But hey, it's talking about In and Out, but then at In and Out you got to get the secret menu. Shit, at Whataburger, just order what the fuck you want. Anyway, secret about it. Ain't no secret about it. Anyway, I want to talk about Diggs, man. Diggs had a nice pick, man. He had a nice pick. I think he bounced back this week. He actually played a really good game to me. He showed his hands that we've been missing for a while. Just that step off coverage he does just to accelerate. You guys' opinions. We'll start with Mike first. Do you think he's getting his legs back under him now? Because it seemed like the last couple of weeks he still hadn't been in football shape yet. It just seemed like he's just always been a step or two behind. You think he's back in football shape right now? Do you think he's improving?
No, I don't think he is. I still need to see more from Trayvon Diggs, who's on his second contract, needs to be making plays. We just seen him a week ago look completely lost in a defense that he's supposed to know. Blown coverage on a wheel route, a Madden play, a Madden wheel route play, right? And so, sure, he came in, he got a pick, versus a common opponent. The Eagles, they know each other well. He's picked off Jalen Hurts multiple times. But I need to see more from Diggs. I need to see versus an uncommon opponent.
Okay. 21. How did you feel about Diggs' performance?
Obviously we want to see those picks. That's what that's what got him that one contract, right? We want to see those picks. He had this one season where we named him the greatest. We were up there with Ed Reed type players, right? But after that, it's just it's mediocre. It's there, But I definitely we need to see more out of Trayvon Diggs. His tackling is garbage. We've seen it in the past few games, but maybe you're right, big fella. Maybe he's barely starting to get back up there. Maybe that noise is finally getting to him, and he's instead of fighting reporters, he's gonna fight back on the field now. So
Right.
hopefully we see that. Right. So hopefully we see that, and I'm glad he got that pick. It's a confidence booster, and going into this season, and I'm just still waiting to see that. I'm still waiting to see that combo with Diggs and Bland. It seems like we just can't get it, and it's coming soon.
All right, Will, your opinion on Diggs on Sunday?
I think it's a step in the right direction. I think he's been having a rough season. The new defensive coordinator, do different style of play. You want Diggs to return to his old self, and I think that's going to take a little bit longer than what we've seen. 21 mentioned his tackling; it hasn't been great. I believe he looked awful in that San Fran game. So to see him come out, and get that interception, and he looked better in this most recent game against the Eagles than he has, to me, for the most of the season. So I'm hopefully he can build on this game and continue to, progress and get back to his old self. Now it's not going to be easy because of the opponents you got coming up next. So hopefully he'll be able to hunker down a little bit.
Right. All right. I know we got to run soon, but I want to get into this, Will, before you have to run. Because people, y'all forget, Will is on the East Coast. It's what, almost 10 o'clock there.
Yeah.
Let's get into this, man, before I know you got to run, bro. All right. Answer this question for me. Why is the Suns still planning an outcome in our games, bro? And why is Jerry so defiant? Why is he so defiant about this, man? I think this is the dumbest thing in the world to hold steadfast to, because he holds steadfast. If y'all heard his interview today, it was the most asinine response I ever heard. Well, no.
I mean, you probably got a whole catalog of Jerry stuff that he done said that's stupid.
Okay. Well, let's just the stadium in general, bro. Our players shouldn't, and it always happened to the Cowboy player. It never happened to the visitor team. You notice that? It never happened to the visitor team. It always happened to our team. CD said, literally, bro, I couldn't see the ball, bro. I couldn't see it. And he told the reporters, man, y'all doing my job. Y'all know what happened. I couldn't see it. If I see it, I catch it. I didn't see it.
He didn't even make an attempt, yeah.
Yeah, Will.
He couldn't see the freaking ball. Jalen Hurts couldn't see down the field either. That's probably why he threw that pick at the beginning of the game. I think he had two. He had one in the red zone, and then he threw a duck into the light. No, Jerry Jones believes that's an advantage. That's home field advantage because the sun is out there. The opponent can't see. But on the other end, your own team can't see the ball. So who are you really helping? Because we saw how the game ended. They still ended up putting up points. That common sense says, look, man, if the sun is that bright and your own players can't see the freaking ball, close the shades. Mr. I know where the sun is. Everybody knows where the sun is. Kellen Moore said in his presser, it was trouble for him when he was playing and when he was coaching. How many more people have to come out and say, look, man, I don't think that the sun thing is a good idea. It's not home. It's not some kind of advantage for us because it's hurting us. We can't see. CeeDee Lamb, matter of fact, I think Ferg was the only one that saw the ball, and he knew the ball was going to CeeDee Lamb. He held up.
Yeah.
And then Lamb clearly couldn't see the ball. It's like, just let that go, man. It's not helping anybody.
For a lot of people that don't know, the Cowboys Stadium is the only stadium in the NFL that goes east to west, not north to south. Okay, so when it goes east to west, when the sun sets, it's setting in the end zones. Okay, so that's the issue right there. And yeah, Boots, I know about this. There are curtains at AT&T. They're there. I've seen them too. It just wasn't at the Taylor Swift concerts. There's been many concerts and other performances at AT&T that literally put up the freaking curtains because of the sun. I was about to use profanity. Michael. Michael.
And that's my bad. Hold on. I'm sorry. I forgot. he didn't throw that interception into the side. I think it was an incomplete pass, but he missed. I think he was Devonta Smith down the seam, down a sideline or something. He completely missed him, but Hurst couldn't see either. So,
right. Corner, what you think about Jerry holding steadfast of it's a part of the nature? We built it like an outdoor stadium. Well, if he built it like an outdoor stadium, why the damn roof ain't always open?
I 1,000% agree with Jerry here. 1,000. The sun, big fella, I want you to say what you just said again. It's not a problem with what, and it's just a problem for who.
It's a problem for our team that play there 8 games a year.
But they have to play an opponent, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you said it's not what?
A problem for the other team.
Exactly. And then Will Spencer tried to use Kellen Moore's words on the podcast, but I need to follow up with that. He also added that, it was a problem, but he implemented plays where you can work it. We're not smart enough. The opponent is, because it's not a problem for them, big fella. You just said that. Kellen Moore knows that the sun's going to be there. Like it's going to be there, like Jason Garrett said it. It's going to be there. It's been there for 1 billion years. It's going to be there for 1 billion more. And I could tell you this right now. In 2011, Cowboys versus the Giants, Miles Austin lost the ball in the LED lights. Do we need to take those lights down?
Yep.
Come on now. It's just an excuse because we got our ass whipped. We've won many games with the sun in that position. We've won a lot of games. Matter of fact, what was our record at AT&T Stadium up until these 4 home games? 16-0.
16-0.
It's only an excuse when you get your ass whipped. Kellen Moore said, I have play designs that help that. Mike McCarthy is obviously clearly not capable of putting those plays in place when the sun's there for an hour to an hour and a half. So we could come up with the excuses when we get our ass whipped, but when we win and the sun's there, our win's invalid because the other team had the sun in their face. Come on, guys, we got to quit doing this. The stadium's been there since 2009, and we won a lot of games with that sun in that exact same spot. It's only a problem when we get our ass whipped.
21. How do you feel about the sun at AT&T?
I agree, big fella. I agree with Corner on this. We know where it's at. We know where the sun's gonna set, and we know where the sun's gonna rise every day. Right? This shit is it's been like that for ages, right? We have to play around it. We have to learn to play around it. Our coach is inept to it, I guess. He doesn't know how to, use it to his advantage. I would, right? You have to know at the coin toss what side the sun is going to be on at this time. Those are things that you take into account, right? When you're playing a game at, as Rue says, at 3 p.m., right? You have to take that into account. So, that's coaching. It's all coaching. If you don't take that into account, then you're not really studying, your I guess your atmosphere.
Well, I think this is going to be a black and brown race war on this one.
Hey, none of us can get sunburnt though, so we're good. Single person right here can get sunburnt.
And both of y'all know I love y'all to death, but no, this is a race war, man. Bullshit. Bullshit. And the reason why I say bullshit is because, bro, it happened in a playoff game where it cost us a touchdown, bro. When it actually counts, it cost us, bro. And it's easy, man, to prevent simple stuff like this. I know it's the coach's job to use it to our advantage, but like Corner said, we ain't smart enough. So if Jerry know we ain't smart enough, put the fucking curtains up.
Jerry ain't smart enough. He's not aware. So if he's not aware, it's coming from the top down. So everybody freaking morons over there.
We won many games with that sun there.
I agree, Mike. But what I'm saying is, when it did in a playoff game, it cost us, bro. It did.
A playoff game.
The Cedric Wilson, where he dropped it. Dak threw him.
He was throwing the ball to Cedric Wilson.
No, but Mike, don't diminish who he was throwing it to. Don't diminish that.
He was a fourth-string wide receiver on the team at the time.
Come on, Mike. You diminishing what actually happened. It don't matter who the fuck he was throwing it to. He couldn't see it. Hell, he could have been throwing it to Micah Irvin and T.O. combined. If they can't see the fucking ball, they can't catch it.
And you know the LED lighting hurt Miles Austin in that game.
You keep going back to LED.
The Giants went to the Super Bowl because of our lighting. Our man-made lighting.
Look,
come on, man. We just got to stop this.
Look, we can't stop it because it's the truth, though, Mike. The truth is the truth. The fucking sun is costing him. The sun is costing his own team. His own team.
It's only costing you when you have a 34-6 blowout. That's when it's on. How many? You guys
34-6 then. It wasn't 34-6 then, Mike. It wasn't 34-6 then.
You guys did a lot of podcasts on the Cowboy Huddle, on the Cowboy Up podcast. How many times have y'all brought up the sun as a topic in the last 3 years?
Shit, 3 fucking times probably.
0.
Oh no, that's not true.
Maybe like twice. This will probably be the second time.
So we played over 40 games, and the sun's only been a problem twice.
Yeah,
I like our averages.
The sun is always a problem because I gotta put on suntan lotion and shit. It feels sticky.
Anyway. Cancer. We'll take it out of the universe.
All right, Will. I know you had the boogie because Will got to do his own show too, man. Will, tell everybody where they can find you at, bro.
You can check me out at Fantasy's Finest on YouTube. Nothing but fantasy football content. A little sprinkle of Cowboys because I gotta, let my fandom speak every now and then. But Fantasy's Finest on Twitter. You can see the handle right there across all social media. So you can check us out. And the podcast will be going up tonight in preparation for Week 11.
Man, I wish you could have stayed to pick games with us, but I understand.
Yeah.
I
was hoping y'all was going to talk about Jerry's comments too, man. I wanted to get in on that.
Well, we were, but I know you said you only had an hour.
I do got to split.
Hey, but if you got 5 more minutes, we can talk about Jerry real quick.
Yeah, I think I can spin that.
All right.
I think I can spin that.
All right. Jerry, the great and powerful Oz. He commented on Micah's comment, and everybody is spinning this. Everybody is spinning this that Micah wasn't directing this shit toward his head coach, and they fucking lying. I don't care what you say. It's a fucking lie. He meant everything he said. Don't backpedal now. I think he meant everything he said. I did. Because look, man, because it's to me, this is the age of cancel culture, right? So everybody want to go back and apologize after shit they didn't say it. Okay. If you say something, if you mean it, fucking own it, right? Okay. So Jerry said today, that Micah didn't mean it, and it wasn't meant that way. So Will, you wanted to bring this up. Tell me your opinion on it. Tell me.
What were the comments first? What was the comments though, Will?
I had the video, but Mike said I can't play videos.
Oh, you can play it now. StreamYard won't let me stream it back to my channel.
All right. Well, go ahead, Will. But I'm gonna download the video real quick. Okay, go ahead.
Well, basically, he made a comment about Mike McCarthy's work ethic compared to a player like Zach Martin, because the gist of it was he was sad about not being able to help guys like Zach Martin who are maybe going to retire or have 1 year left on their deals or maybe on their way out, and he wanted to be able to bring a championship and hoist a championship with them. And he made a comparison, which is what is catching him a lot of heat about. Mike McCarthy is a coach. He'll be able to go somewhere else and leave and continue to be a coach. But a guy like Zach Martin, he might be done, and he'll retire. But he said something along the lines of, "Oh, you got it?
Give me a second. I got it. Okay, it's a 2-minute clip, guy. 2 minutes. Okay, here we
go.
All I can say is that stadium was built to feel like it's outdoors when you're indoors. and it was built to have sunlight coming in every way that you could put it out there as though it were open air, yet still being inside. It's the largest air-conditioned space in the world, the stadium. It has over 3 million cubic feet of air-conditioned space. My biggest thought when we were building it was, don't have it not look like it's outdoors. Make it look like it's outdoors. And so all of the things that are a part of that out there is a concept as though you were sitting out there with no roof, no doors, no anything, and you're playing in the elements. Every venue has certain things that at certain ways and times in the contest can create an advantage. That really goes.
Well, actually, I downloaded the wrong damn clip. He was talking about the sun at that one. Give me it. Y'all go ahead. Go ahead. No, but I know you was talking about Micah. Go. You can finish up, Will. Go ahead. See if I can find it.
Basically, he said, Mike McCarthy can go and continue to be a coach, but Zach Martin will maybe end his career, retire, whatever. And he feels like, Zach Martin put in work and training more so than Mike McCarthy ever did. And that's what kind of got him in hot water. I think the comparison was that got him heated. And I don't think that Micah Parsons meant it in that way. He even came out and said it on his own podcast that he didn't mean for it to come out that way, or he didn't intend to throw Mike McCarthy under the bus. And him and Mike McCarthy have a great relationship, and they don't have any issues and things like that. And you had guys like on ESPN, Rex Ryan and Damian Woody, like throwing him into the wood chipper. Oh, I can't believe that he said that, and he's talking about Mike McCarthy and being disrespectful. Like all that stuff is what he was responding to, because he felt like they took his words and spun it when he didn't mean, or he didn't intend for that to be taken that way. Okay. I don't think that that's what and even when you look at the interview, he didn't come off like he was trying to be smart. I think he really meant what he said as far as what he believed he was saying. And then everybody took his words and was like, oh, he's disrespecting Mike McCarthy. A lot of finger pointing is going on. It's like, yeah, you're losing, but I don't think that's Michael Parsons.
Okay. Mike, what you think about it?
I 1000% agree with Micah Parsons here, guys. Listen, Zach Martin puts in more work to this game than Mike McCarthy ever will. When Mike McCarthy's evaluating draft prospects, what is Zach Martin doing? Voluntary weightlifting, voluntary conditioning, straight to conditioning, right? He's in there lifting weights, putting his body on the line. Mike McCarthy's sitting in a chair with the clicker in his hand watching college tape, right? With Will McClay. Have you toured the Stars? Have you toured the Star? The coach is sitting there like this. I toured the Star during the 2018 draft, the day of the first day of the draft. I toured the Star. Jason Garrett was sitting there like this, watching the players run straight to condition on the field. What is Jason Garrett doing? He's watching them because he can't interact with them because it's against NFL rules, right? So the players are out there sweating, pumping iron, doing stuff, while the coaches are just sitting there not doing anything. They got to study the play. They got to be down in the trenches. They got to do a lot of stuff more physically, mentally, emotionally than an NFL coach has to do.
All right, I got Michael responding. Hold on. Here we go.
And at the end, a guy like Woody, right, a former player, he's a Super Bowl champ. He should know the significance of one, throwing out someone's injury. Like I wanted to get injured. Now that's blatant disrespect. I've never missed a game in my career, not college, not high school, not even to about 4 or 5 weeks ago to injury. To say that I'm just missing games because of injury, like it's just some injury after I suffered a significant injury playing the game that we love. Someone who's been around teams and legends at that can say, like, that's how I know we all have to see through the BS of what these TV analysts are trying to do and, provide us and basically take words I never once threw or even intended to throw Mike McCarthy under the bus. Like I said, he's one of the most winningest coach. He is a Super Bowl champ. I never once brung up his past. And the question that was asked was about here in the Dallas Cowboys, did I see Mike McCarthy in our future? And I said, that's above my pay grade. So never once did I ever intended or wanted to reflect on Mike McCarthy's career because I always knew it was a good one. I've always had a great relationship with Mike McCarthy, and I never even put that in question. And for a guy like Rex Ryan, I just know he wanted to coach the Cowboys. Like, I'm perfectly happy that we have Zimmerman, because if we have a guy that's willing to go on TV and provide this type of nonsense, imagine what he could do to a locker room. Like, that's just honestly just outrageous to me at the end of the day. Like I said, man, when you play football, all coaching aside, and you can look at college, you can look at even the pros, coaches are, their careers are way longer. They can decide to take a better job. They can move on. You kind of see that a lot from DCs, OCs, head coaching positions. Sometimes better job openings just open up. And you truly never know. You never know how the dice is going to roll with coaches. But when you talk about guys you consistently going to war with, man, like guys that I seen Tyron and Zach barely can walk throughout the week, take a Toradol, go out there and play, being half a man basically and giving us our best effort. So when you see those type of things, you see guys pushing through injuries, pushing through just so much difficulty it is to play in this league. Yes, 100%. Every time I'm going to always choose the brother that we're going to bleed with, we're going to work with, because in the end, it's only a small group of us, There is no politics out there on that football field. I understand what he meant to the Dallas Cowboys organization, because I'm only worried about what happens at the Dallas organization, man. And, it truly bothers me how much negativity that we choose to put out there. Because not once did I want this quote to be a negative moment. I only want it to be a positive light and shine light on guys like Zach Martin, who may or may not be a Cowboy next year, but is going to be a Ring of Honor guy, a Hall of Fame guy, and that just know that he just added so much value to the Cowboys that will be missed.
What did I just got done saying? I don't even watch that podcast. The
And they do
player
that.
puts in more work than a coach. 1,000%. Parsons spoke the truth. The truth. And if you played any ounce of any sport, you work harder than that coach day in, day out.
And Rex and Damian Woody were foul for how they tried to come at him. Like you can't do stuff like that and then call yourself an analyst and be on TV and talking sports. You want to have interactions with players, but you out here dogging guys. How do you dog Micah Parsons for being hurt, legitimately hurt, and then try and say like he's missing games and he's not? Like that makes no. He has a high ankle injury. You can't run on that. Then if he goes out and hurts himself, and he's out for the season. Now it's up. Now they don't have Micah Parsons. Why? It was stupid for him to be out there and do that. He wasn't healthy. Like they don't use common sense when stuff like that happens, and they like to turn the dial up to 11 whenever a Cowboys player says something that, hey man, look, we could turn this into something crazy. Let's do it.
Well, I guess to me it was just like James Jones telling that said that Dak Prescott quit on his team, and the man got
my God,
hamstring ripped off the fucking bone, and he wanted to spin it like, I don't go back on my words, bro. The man literally muscle is off his bone. And you said he quit. You said
as an anti-Packer, I totally disagreed with that comment. I did.
You call that man a quitter. We seen this guy slam his ankle on the ground to try and put it back in place to play.
Yeah.
And you call him a quitter?
Called him a quitter. Well, we're the most criticized, and it's just ridiculous. 21, you got any comment on Micah on his podcast, what he said about Rex or anything like that?
No, I just think everything was spin the wrong way. Everything was spin the wrong way. I agree with what he said. A player will always put his body on the line and everything. So they work harder. I just think I guess as Rex Ryan being a coach, he used an ex-coach, right? It rubbed him the wrong way, and I guess he felt like he was throwing Mike McCarthy under the bus, but it was just spin the wrong way. If you really listen to the everything in context, Michael was just saying, "Look, I'm out here doing it for the guys that we might not be here. The Hall of Famers, so definitely agree with Michael and everything. It was just they spend it for clicks."
Yeah. Will, I know you got to run. Just one last question for you, Will. One last question.
Mhm.
Do you think it's Micah's approach when he does press conference that get him in trouble?
I think it's his approach. I think he talks like a regular person. He doesn't talk like he's prepped for questions. And I think that's what gets him in trouble. He's talking like he's talking to me and you, instead of talking like he's talking to a board or a
So you like how
open
Dak
mic.
talks?
Yeah, like Dak is more guarded in what he says. He's more careful and precise, and he doesn't give. I don't think he gives like long-winded answers or
Right.
long answers. He's straight to the point. He says what he says. He's moving on through the questions and he's done. Micah expresses himself, and oftentimes that's what gets him in trouble.
Okay. All right, bro, man. Once again, man, thank you, Will. One more time. Tell them where they can find you, man. Tell them where they can.
You can check me out at Fantasy's Finest across all social medias. If you got Twitter, we there. If you got YouTube, TikTok, the podcast is available everywhere. We actually got a new 5-minute podcast called The Blitz. It's now on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, so you can check us out there. 5 minutes to get you right every day. We took a little hiatus, but we got to get back to it. So we're going to get everybody right for week 11. So you can check us out there. And our full-length podcast, the Fantasy's Finest podcast, is also on Apple Podcast, Spotify, wherever you listen, we there. So check us out, hit the subscribe button. And you guys, it's always a pleasure to talk to you guys about Cowboys Football Corner. You are a tough cookie, but I really enjoy talking football with you, man. You are hilarious.
Always.
Yeah, it's fun, man. And Chris, I gotta apologize to you, man, because I wanted to jump on and I don't think I asked the right way, because I was like, Jerry, I was upset because we lost, and then Jerry's comments after the presser was like had me tight. So I'm like, I gotta come on here and talk some crap, yo. This is ridiculous.
With us, all it is a text. Chris, I want to come on. You're on. I mean, because to us, this is barbershop for us. Okay, so anybody can walk in the barbershop to get that haircut, right? Even if you don't need that haircut, just sit there and let's talk a little sports, bro. That's all this is. So whenever you shoot me a text, you coming on.
Well, it's definitely
I appreciate it, man.
For me, because I'm by appointment only.
Exactly. All right, man. Give it up
I like
for Will.
that. Thank you, guys.
Hey, appreciate it.
Now, Cowboy Corner, you're not appointment only, okay?
Say that again?
You're not appointment only. It's just only when Mikey feel like he loves you or not. So,
Part-timer Mikey.
yeah. So, y'all want to pick some games?
Pick them.
Hey, I wanted to touch on something though.
Go ahead.
But we were talking about the new era, and I hate that Spencer left, but I didn't get to talk about the topic. Like, I think, and this is not a knock on anybody. I don't want anybody to take this the wrong way, but like, I can tell who played football in Texas and who hasn't just by having a conversation with them. And it's not the 90s mentality. I call it the Texas football mentality. Right? We all lived in Texas. You look up Texas football, there's nothing on the face of this earth like it.
Yeah.
Like, there's high schools in Texas towns where you want to murder the other team, right?
Yeah.
Because that's just the mindset of Texas football. So this whole new era stuff, it ain't gonna work in Texas. I mean, look at the mindset in Houston. It's not working there, right? This Hollywood culture is what's tainting it. It's not a new era. It's just the way the Dallas culture is. And Jerry has to figure out a way to fix it, and fix it fast.
I feel you. All right, man. Let's pick some games, man. Let's, We'll talk about them Texans later.
All I know is you won't see corner at an all white party with Micah.
No, you won't see me with any players chilling and hanging out because if I'm gonna do this, you're not my friend. I'm not gonna be your friend. I'm not gonna play you in Madden. I'm not gonna ask for your phone number. I'm gonna call you by your last name like I have with every player that I've met, Mr. Lawrence, Mr. Lee, Mr. Prescott, Mr. Quinn. All right, because right here, but because off the field, I'm your worst enemy if you play bad.
He definitely is. All right, man. Let's talk about last week, man. My brother-in-law Octavius, man, had the best week, man. He went 12-2. The Eagle fan Drew went 11-3. Kuiper AZ went 7-7. Mikey went 7-7. 21, always under 500. And this is my first week. My first week. I had a losing week. Jesus, that sucks. Anyway, Thursday, Cowboy Corner. And if Rue, if you still in here, man, throw your picks in the comments, man, because I forgot last week you were in the comments, and I'm sorry, bro. But if you still in, Rue, throw your picks. Mikey was supposed to send his picks, but apparently
Part-time Mikey.
Well, now his son had a performance, I believe. Yeah. His son is in a band, and they I think it's competition, I believe. So that's where he is. He had texted me earlier, tip he's gonna be there. All right. So Thursday night, man, it's gonna be a good game, man. A battle for first place in the NFC East. The hated Washington Commanders versus the triple hated Philadelphia Eagles. Corner, who you got, baby?
I got the Commanders. I think they're the most complete team.
Okay. 21.
I got the commies taking it.
I got the Eagles at home just because they're at home. That's the only reason I'm picking them at home. We got the Pack versus the Bears, the North Division, as ESPN used to call it. The Pack, they struggling a little bit, and the Bears are struggling even more. So to me, the better team, well, the Chicago defense is better than Green Bay. Let's go. Corner, who you got in this one?
I got the Packers.
Pack. 21.
I got the Packers. That Chicago offense is struggling bad.
I know. Yeah, I can't pick Chicago. Give me the Pack. Corner, we got the Jaguars versus the Detroit Lions. We got the kid and fight. Who you got? I already know you picking.
Give me the Lions.
Is anybody not picking the Lions?
Detroit.
Okay, Detroit. All right. Las Vegas versus the Dolphins. The Vegas got to travel all the way down to South Beach. Who you got, Mikey?
Now give me the Dolphins.
Okay, 21.
I'll take the Dolphins.
I'm gonna take the Dolphins too. Los Angeles Rams versus going on the road to New England. Mike, who you got?
Give me the Rams.
21.
I'll take the Patriots at home.
I'm gonna take the Pats at home too, just because California teams struggle on that East Coast. Cleveland Browns off of their bye week versus New Orleans after their first victory after they having the third line parade in Arlington. Mike, who you got?
Give me the Saints.
Saints. All right. 21.
I'm gonna take Cleveland.
I got Cleveland too. The return of Jameis Winston to the New Orleans. All right. We got another. Oh man, no, this used to be the 9-3, the 6-3 games. Man, used to be the defensive battles back in the day. God, I used to love watching these two. Mike, who you got? Baltimore or the Steelers?
I like Baltimore here.
Okay, 21.
I'm gonna take Pittsburgh at home.
Okay, I'm going to take the Ravens just because, man. As much as I dog out Lamar, and he's been on fire lately, bro. So I'm going with the on fire quarterback. All right, the Vikings versus the Tennessee Titans. Who you got, Mike?
I got the Vikings.
21.
I'm taking Minnesota.
I'm taking Minnesota also. A snoozer game. The Indianapolis Colts versus the New York Jets. Mike, who you got?
Jets.
21.
I'll take the Jets.
I think the Jets didn't quit. Give me Indy.
Who's starting for Indy? Who's the starting quarterback?
Is it Joe Flacco?
Is it Flacco?
He's still in there.
What about Rodgers? Is he in?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'll take the okay.
All right. ATL after the loss to New Orleans versus those Broncos who almost pulled off the upset that I chose and 21 chose that upset. And they was a field goal block away from getting them Dallas Texans, aka the Kansas City Chiefs. Who you got on this one, Mike?
The Falcons.
All right, 21.
I'll take Denver. Denver's looking solid.
I'm gonna take Denver at home too. ATL don't play outside much, so we're gonna see. It was snowing in Denver last weekend, so we'll see if the ATL can deal with them elements in Denver, Colorado. All right, we got those Sea Chickens versus those hated San Francisco 49ers. Who you got, Mike?
Niners.
21.
Give me the upset and give me the Sea Chickens.
All right, I'll take them damn punk ass, trick ass, hoe ass Niners. Anyway, Kansas City Chiefs, aka the Dallas Texans, versus the Buffalo Bills in Buffalo. It's gonna be a good little game here. Mike, who you got?
I got the Bills in this one.
21.
Yeah, I take the Bills. I take them giving KC their first loss.
And I think they got the stigma against KC. Give me KC in this one. Sunday night, the Cincinnati Bengals versus the Los Angeles Chargers in LA. Mike, who you got?
Give me them Bengals.
21.
Who they? Give me them Bengals.
Who they? I'm gonna take who they also. All right, Monday Night Football. I need a score and a prediction. It's the Houston Texans, Texas team versus America's team. Mike, who you got?
How about them Cowboys?
What's your score?
21-10.
21. Oh, defense is gonna show out. Okay.
You didn't know that?
All right. 21.
Give me the Cowboys, baby. Cowboys stunned the Houston Texans at home by a field goal. Brandon Aubrey pulls it through 23-20.
All right. It's the big fella's turn. Y'all know I love my boys. I love them to death. But until our offense can score 21 points, we're losing every damn game. Texans 35, Cowboys 9. Because Brandon Aubrey is our only offense.
Trey Lance.
They gotta play like in high school, like in college for a cowboy hat or something. Who's the two teams that play for a cowboy hat? Is it?
That was in baseball. That's baseball. The Houston Astros and it's Oklahoma Sooners in Texas play for that silver boot hat. Ain't that right?
Something. They play for something. Cowboys and the Texans got to do that, man. It's the battle of Texas right there.
And the teams on the bye, the Cardinals are on the bye, the Prairie Kittens is on the bye, the Little Giants is on the bye, and the Buccaneers are on the bye. Man, once again, man, thanks Cowboy Corner for filling in for the fellas, man. Always you're not appointment only. You're always a walk in and you can sit in my chair anytime, bro. Also shout out to, man, had fun again with 21 this past weekend in Dallas. If y'all just want to recap, just go to his TikTok account and you can see it all right there.
I ain't never seen the big fella drink so much goddamn tequila. I know he Mexican.
Dude.
What was it? Was it Patron or what?
Say, man.
So Julio, 1942. We'll fuck around. Exactly.
Was he out there, cool man? Did you have some reggaeton in your step?
Hey man, I keep telling y'all I'm half Hispanic. My grandkids Hispanic. So it's in my blood too, man. Viva la raza, shit.
I gotta hear your Mexican
Like
cry.
Eddie Guerrero right now. Viva la raza.
I gotta hear your Mexican cry.
Hey man, y'all know y'all love y'all to death, man. As we always say on this show, us Cowboys for life.
Puro pinches Cowboys.
We'll
Thanks
see
for
y'all.
having me, guys. I appreciate it.
All right,
Appreciate
peace.
it, Corner.